Lesson 3.7, Multiplying Integers. Multiplication is repeated addition. 2 times 3 is the same thing as 2 plus 2 plus 2 or 3 plus 3. Either way, it's 6. And there are rules for multiplying integers. If the signs are the same, you multiply the numbers and the answer will always be positive. So if I have two positive numbers, I get a positive answer. And if I have two negative numbers, I get a positive answer. If the signs are different, we multiply the numbers and the answer will be negative. So I have a 5 times negative 8, I get negative 40. I have negative 8 times 3, I get negative 24. But it won't matter which number is bigger. The only thing that matters is whether the signs match or not. And a technique to remember this rule is to think of it as a matching game. If the signs match, you win, and that's positive. If the signs don't match, you lose, and that's negative. So for example, 5 times negative 12, I have one positive and one negative. I don't match, therefore my answer will be a negative 60. Negative 6 times negative 8, they're both negative, so my signs did match, so I get a positive 48 as an answer. Negative 3 times, positive 3 times positive 15, they're both positive. They match, I get a positive answer. Negative 2 times positive 10, they don't match, therefore my answer is negative. And if we're multiplying more than two numbers, rather than trying to keep track of whether it'll be positive and negative as we go along, we can count the number of negative numbers. If there are an even number of negatives, then the answer will be positive because every two negatives will cancel each other out to make a positive. If there's an odd number of negatives, then the answer will be negative because we'll have a bunch of pairs and then one left over that makes the whole answer negative. So for example, negative 3 times 5 times negative 2 times 2 times negative 4 times negative 3. If I count the negatives, I have negative 3, negative 2, negative 4, negative 3. That's 4 negatives. So the answer will be positive because that's even. So I get a positive 720. If I have 3 times 2 times negative 4 times negative 2 times 10 times negative 2, I have negative 4, negative 2, and negative 2. There are 3 negatives, which is odd, which makes my answer negative.